Welcome back to all the senseis that are starting to play NIKKE because of this character. Let's talk a little bit about Crust and if it's worth pulling for her or not. This is the day one first impressions. The tier list will be updated in a day or two when we do more testing. So this is, once again, a first day impressions. Take it just as a reference for now and don't decide to go all in or not until a couple more days pass on. As usual, thank you to my Patreons. You can join them here on YouTube or on Coffee with the link in the description down below. Love you all bastards. And let's talk a little bit about Crust. Now, the Crust that Scarrow got, it's MLB, we got 444, and as you can see, she got a max ammo there, attack, max ammo, and another max ammo. So pretty good in terms of ammunition. That's like the only thing she cares about. It's only a 444, which is something to take into consideration, and we ran tests with both the character at level 200, the one you get for free, on my account, and then on this account we just ran the normal test with different team compositions, both distribute and sustain damage. So leave a like, subscribe, have a go to the channel, and let's get started talking a little bit about her skills and a couple of things that are weird. First, the first thing and the most important, if you are someone who will forget that you have to manual her at the beginning, absolutely, it's required, then you should skip, okay? If you are not manualing her, you are basically losing her whole kit. That's like the biggest issue, right? Her kit has, for most casual players, who are gonna be forgetting for the most part to actually manual her. The other thing that her skill 1 has is that it's pretty good because you do not need to go higher than level 4. 1.82 seconds extended duration and a 7% attack buff. At level 10, this is a 10% attack buff, and this is a 2.5 second extended duration. But the good thing is that at level 4, you can self-sustain this through the whole battle at 1.82, and there's only a 3% increase on attack. In my opinion, from level 4 to level 10, with how expensive it is right now in NIKKE, there is no situation where this is worth going for, where it's worth actually going for the 10 on skill 1 for 3% increase. I think it's 3%, and I might be tripping, but let me double check. I'm pretty sure it's a 3% only on a skill 1, which means it's like there is like no situation where it's gonna be worth it. Yes, as you can see, 2.5 and 10%. So a 7%, 7.27, more than enough. A level 4 for a skill 1. For her skill 2, a level 7 would be nice because the defense up, we don't care about defense up. I'm not gonna be talking about PvP as usual, I don't care. But for PvE, the attack buff you're getting on level 4 is 14%. At level 10 is 20%. Meaning if you were to be leveling up to level 7, you would be going to like 17%, I believe is going to be, which is a little bit better. It's only 3%. As you can see, like the increases are literally 1 by 1% on each level. So it's really hard justifying going higher, considering she can only be used with 2 characters right now. 3, maybe 4 if you have Copium. We'll talk about compositions on a second. So in that regard, it's cheap to build, but at the same time, it's a cons because her buffs are really expensive if you want to go all in, right? So skill 1 and skill 2, once again, you could be going for like a 477 and you would be good. I have a hard time justifying recommending anything other than 444, if I'm honest with you guys. Same for the burst. The burst is like the only situation where I could say, okay, a level 7 makes sense, because at level 4 you're getting a 14% attack damage, and at level 10 you would be getting instead a 20%, so it's only a 6% increase on attack damage. But the important part is the distribute, because you will be going from 43 all the way to 60. But then again, if it's sustained damage, it's only a 3% increase. Her kit or her breakpoints are a little bit weird. I don't like that it's so expensive to build her just for like that amount of percentage increase. So I will say like a 447, maybe a 477, depending how many resources you have. But even then, feels too expensive. That's it about her skills, right? When it comes to gear, ultra simple character to build, max ammo, charge speed. You don't care about anything else. Charge speed will benefit her if you are trying to get the sustained damage buff at the beginning of the battle. Outside of that, it doesn't matter. She already, without any charge damage, I believe Scarrow got a single line. Yes, without charge speed, she can already keep up 100% uptime on any buff you decide to get. So max ammunition capacity is priority, and then some charge speed if you get lucky. But I would not even re-roll this, considering right how expensive it is. And then lastly, for her cube, since it's a 2-second reload, no reason to go anything over resilience. But if you get enough max ammo, you could justify going on Bastion, but again, it's not really worth it. Charge speed, most people don't have it leveled up, so I'm not going to be including it on the recommendations, because the amount of stats you will get from just using resilience or Bastion is always going to be bigger. That's it about like a TLDR on her build. Let's talk a little bit about damage wise and what characters work with her. Because if we come here to the first team, can I change the team, Scarrow, or I'm shafting you? Okay, I want to change this team, Scarrow. What the fuck is this? If we talk about what characters you can use with Crust right now, it's not a lot of options. You have Quincy for distribute, you have Breedy, which I do not see. Breedy, where are you? My god, there you go. Breedy, if you care about distribute damage as well. And then you also have SBS for distribute damage as well. And then, which is Copium, you have Sakura for sustain. You have Mana for sustain. I think sustain, right? Which is still Copium. And the last Copium piece, which would be Doro. Those are like your options, but again, like the real options are going to be what we were saying, which is basically these 3 characters. So she doesn't have a lot of options to be buffing to begin with. What we were testing is Breedy mostly and SBS, and then we also tested Breedy for sustained damage. That's what we were doing. As you can see, the level 10-10-10 versus my mates overloaded 444, it's pretty close. It's like a 980 mil versus 1.2 build, a level 500. The problem is that if we check the 444s, right, on a proper level account, MLB Crust versus MLB Mast and Anchor as well, she is going 3 billion damage on Breedy versus 5 billion on the mates. Now, mates are really strong. They are right now one of our best players in the game overall, not even for distribute overall. So it makes sense they are better, but that's like a big gap already. And that's on a 444. Again, you could be going higher and getting closer if you level her skills higher, but it's too expensive versus the percentage you are getting back. Even if we would only to level up her burst skill. And then if we compare on SBS, it's not that much of a difference, honestly, as you can see, because it was like a 3 billion difference. But this is like a 8 billion on mates versus 7.6 on Crust, with Alice as well in there. But this is also because the burst generation with Crust and Helm is really, really good, and this Alice was on auto, meaning burst generation for this team wasn't the best one out there. Also, all of these tests are on neutral element, of course. On my account with the level 10-10-10, no overload Crust, we got a 1.4 billion versus 1.5 with my mates, once again, 444. My Alice just was there to give the buff, nothing else. She's not in the synchro. I refuse to put Alice back in the synchro. She will never be back on the synchro. That said, sustain damage wise is pretty bad because sustain, there is no good characters, guys. 900 almost 20 with Rosanna 1 build. It doesn't not that big of a difference because sustain as of right now is not great. I assume Shift Up don't want to give us bigger sustain buffs because it might be too broken. I don't know. We shall see. But Rosanna is giving... this is, by the way, my Rosanna level 5 burst. She's giving more sustain damage at level 5 and also damage taken, which is really good. And then if we compare on a Scarrow account with the Rosanna right there, they are doing 3.4 build and 3 build. So for sustain, she's pretty even out with Rosanna. For distribute, depending on investment, she's not catching up to the mates, but then again, it really depends on how far you're willing to go for this character. Right now, considering the amount of characters she can work with and elements, 2 characters, 3, depending what you're doing, it's not really recommended pulling for her. It's not a character that I will say, yeah, it's worth going all in or getting a copy or nah. I will just put on the wish list. And honestly, if the anniversary bring us a character that is actually distribute or sustain or both, knowing Shift Up, I could see them making a double DPS, right, or double type hybrid. You can get her on anniversary when we get the selector banner. There is like 0 reasons to be getting her right now, in my opinion. If you can sack a copy, of course, it's nice. And when it comes to new players, since this was something people asked on my previous video on the first impressions, can she help a new player? You would be getting for a new player basically 14% attack damage and 10% of attack, depending what buff you are getting, right? That's it, nothing else. It's good. Like, it's not awful, right? And another 14% right here on full burst. But it's not a character that I forgot to remove Crust from the screen, bro. Oh my god. Let me remove this. There we go. But considering the amount of investment she needs at the 444, it's not gonna be like an amazing character. I don't know where I will be placing her right now on the tier list or anything. This is just more like I was saying at the beginning of the video, a first impressions. But that's gonna be it for now. Honestly, it's a character that it's a little bit underwhelming. I was expecting a better buffer. I might be missing something. Her buffs are pretty simple to self-sustain as long as you remember at the beginning of the battle to manual her. The only last thing I want to mention is that if you for some reason decide to go for sustain damage buff, aka holding, you will have to disable automatic burst because you will burst before you get the buff. She has good burst generation, depending on your team composition as well, but that's like the only thing. For most people playing on auto, I don't think it's worth getting this character because she is not auto-friendly at all. And she is not either plug and play, considering the character she's buffing as of right now. But then again, if you like her, go for her. I would personally put her on the wishlist as of right now. If you want to wait a couple more days until we get the full tier list updated and the build, you can also do that. As usual, beautiful people, that's gonna be it for this video. Love you all bastards, have a great day. We'll be live later again. Come by, say hello, and I'll see you in the next one.